Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, the channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and today I'm showing you an idea I had to get more miniatures painted. So over the years I've learned things, and one of them is that if I want to be able to do something, and I want to do something often, especially if it's something that I'm not excited about doing, then the easier I make doing that, the more likely I'm going to do it. So working out, of course, is a very easy example of this. If I have to take out my yoga mat and move a bunch of stuff and then roll it out and then get my phone and then put my yoga practice on there and just lay out, like, it gets a lot more difficult. But if I have my yoga mat all set up and I have an area and I have everything all ready, all I got to go over there and I can just do yoga. This is sort of one of the tenets that I live my life by. I just make things as easy as possible. Now, I want to paint, I'm excited about painting, but I found that I always have this board with a light clamp to it and it has a bunch of paints and stuff stacked on it, and I'm always like migrating it around my study. If I want to film, like I'm doing now, I'm going to have to move it and then onto the gaming table. If I want to game, then I got to move it back onto here, and it's kind of like always moving around, and I got to plug my light in. I try to make it easy, but it is always a little bit in the way. Now, my wife had a similar dilemma with sewing machines. Take up a lot of space. You have to plug them in, and then you got to have like an area to sew and things. So for my wife, we have a very small place. It's a very small like condo we live in, and so I had this great idea because if you want a space for a chair and a table and all that, that's kind of a lot. But I thought, hey, let's take this closet that we're using it for something else, but we emptied the closet out. We put a tabletop in there, and then put all of her sewing machines. And in this way, all she has to do is bring a chair up to the table, open her curtain, and she's ready to go. She can even stop in the middle of the project, close the curtain, put the chair back, and walk away, and the house is fine. You can have a dinner party. You could be sewing 5 minutes before the dinner party, and the doorbell rings, you get up, close your curtain, move your chair back, and you're ready to go. And I wanted this same approach with painting. So in my study, where I do just about all of my gaming, I decided I'm going to make a closet for painting miniatures because I want to be able to get that stuff done. And I'm going to take a page from the thing that we did for my wife, the thing we built for my wife. And so I only have one closet and my clothes are all in there, so I had to kind of figure out some way to do it. So I took a little dresser, put it in my bedroom, and I migrated some of the stuff, but let's take a look. So first, I, of course, had to get rid of my jackets and then remove the doors. And then you can see it's insane how much stuff is in here. It's been about a year now where I've been really wanting to get things cleaned up in here, but it just kind of keeps piling and piling up. Now, when I emptied the closet out, remember, whatever you think is in that closet, it's about 10 times more. I cannot imagine, I really can't believe the amount of stuff that came out of here. But essentially, I emptied out the whole closet, cleaned it up. Now I can't get rid of these shirts, and my shirts and sport coats, I just don't have a place to put them, so I thought a good compromise, that's another good life lesson, a good compromise would be to put them on the top of the closet. So I would kind of cut it in half, do the top half being the shirts and clothes, have a nice board separating, so if something fell, it doesn't fall into paint, and then in the bottom half, that's where I'll put my painting stuff. So that's what I set about doing. I emptied it out, I put up a nice kind of tabletop, I put some side pieces in. I'm not going to really tell you exactly how I did this because essentially it's just building shelves. I'm not good at building things. You can find this information anywhere else on the internet. I'm just kind of showing you what I did myself. I made a couple of small little shelving units. Again, I could have done this a lot more efficiently if I was better at building things with thinner shelves, could have stored more paint, but this seemed like the easiest way to do it. And then of course I have a spot for my airbrush, and then my brushes and things like that, and a spot for my gloves. And I bought this cheap little thing because I always have lots of little pieces and stuff of extraneous things, and that just seemed like the easiest way to do that. That little drawer system on the left. And I organized everything by color. A lot of people won't have these acrylic paints, these cheap acrylic paints. I happen to really I do a lot of like terrain builds and stuff, and so I use a lot of paint, and I'm not going to be using like $7 a can Citadel paint on it. I'm going to be using these like very cheap $1 paints, so I use them quite a bit. That's why they're over there. And then I have a lot of my Vallejo and stuff like that. Put a light up there, and I'm all set. So now all I'll have to do is open a curtain, move a chair up, and then get to painting. However, my curtain, I should have really had it done for this video, but I bought some fabric, I threw it in the wash, and it shrunk on me. So I have to do something different about my curtain. But you can just imagine, as you see here, now I'll open my imaginary curtain, slide a chair up, turn on the light, and then grab one of these trays from above, which each of these trays will have my different projects that I'm working on, my miniatures in each of these, because sometimes I have different kinds of projects I'm working on, and I'll grab the tray I want, and I'm ready to paint. Well, comment below if you've got some other ideas, some suggestions, whether this inspired you to maybe try to do this on your own kind of like spin on this. But for now, I gotta roll.